your morning companion. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, 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 your morning companion.
Thank God it's Friday. It's a beautiful Friday morning, and you're welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. This is your favorite online radio station, the only online radio station you can carry along wherever you go. All you need to do is just download the app on Play Store at GhanaTalks Radio. Remember that you're streaming live at GhanaTalks Radio on Facebook, at GhanaTalks Radio on X, and also at GhanaTalks Radio on YouTube. Do all to log on and send in your comments, and let's get interactive on the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. This is the news review. Right here we bring you all the relevant stories making waves in the news. From business to politics, from sports to entertainment, we got you covered with the most relevant stories and informed perspectives on issues that matter to you every morning right here on the show. I'll be serving you breakfast this morning with Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adozo. I am your host, Ruth Esenam Fiagbedu. Good morning to you, ladies, and you are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
How you doing, Miss Debbie?
The grace is sufficient.
We thank God. Miss Regina, how you doing?
You?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Anyways, a lot is happening, but we are just going to be delving into some few.
Forestry Commission.
Is that?
You look like a forestry commission.
Oh, is it because of my outfit?
Yes.
And then green means go. So today I'm going with it. If you come,
Green means
go.
you just see gold.
Oh, hey, today it's like you're on my top. Or anything. Fun is that. Right, let's dive into the news headlines. Government proposes dedicated TVET fund to drive Ghana's skills-based economy. Government says it is considering a special fund to support technical and vocational education and training in Ghana. The Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, announced the proposal during a TVET program and the launch of the latest Ghana TVET report. The proposed TVET fund will provide more money to train young people in practical and technical skills that can help them get jobs or start businesses. According to the minister, government plans to allocate between 10% and 50% of the Ghana Education Trust Fund to TVET, use part of Ghana's oil revenue to support skills development. The aim is to build a workforce with hands-on skills that industries need, especially as technology continues to change the job market. Mr. Idrisu said Ghana cannot continue relying mainly on traditional classroom education while companies struggle to find technically skilled workers. The proposed reforms are also expected to help young graduates financially so they can start small businesses in areas such as engineering, construction, mechanics, fashion, ICT, and other technical fields. At the event, education stakeholders also discussed whether TVET institutions are providing quality training that truly prepares students for employment. The Director General of the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education and Training explained that the new Ghana TVET report focuses strongly on quality of training, employment opportunities for graduates, enrollment trends, and inclusion of women and persons with disabilities. Officials believe strengthening TVETs could help reduce unemployment and bridge the gap between education and the job market. The proposal is part of Ghana's effort to create a more skilled, competitive, and job-ready workforce for Ghana's future. Ms. Debbie, share your thoughts with me briefly on this. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, it's very good. Looking at TVET as a whole, a lot of people or you too who dive into that kind of institution or sector, to learn hand-on skills and all that, after they are done, they find it difficult to put into practice what they are being taught. And so if the government is bringing out a fund that is going to be from the state, and definitely it's going to be taxpayers' money, and that will be used to source the whole TVET, I think it is going to help. Because when you look at the TVET system, I remember those times, let's take home economics for instance, you are supposed to buy your own practical equipment. But when Akufo-Addo came into power, the previous administration, their first year in power, they provided the equipment for the home students. You can choose to buy that is if you want to try it hands-on in the house. But in a school, because I remembered my school, they provided equipment for these students. So when you're coming to school for practicals or you're on a topic that demands hands-on practicals, you don't bring the staffs from the house because the school already has it. You have to come and use it and then do your practicals. But then when you go home, you can try with what you have. So this is from the government. So when the government do something like that, in a way you are easing this kind of financial burden on the student, because buying of those things is not easy. I remember my time, most of my colleagues that were into home economic staffs, when they gave them the list, some of them were crying because the things you have to buy, it's a lot, and then you need to buy them because you don't know the question you'll be given to in your final level, and per the question they give you, it's per that question that you're going to bring out the equipment. You don't just bring out any equipment. If I tell you to prepare food for somebody who is anemic and all that, when you're serving, there are equipment you used to serve. You don't just serve with anything at all. So it depends. So you have to get all the equipment because you don't know what you will be using in your final year. So with the government bringing this out, let's look at some benefits that we are going to benefit, or the students who are into this TVET are going to benefit. So in general, it's going to tackle youth unemployment directly. So most economists have gap between what school teaches and what employers actually need. Now when you look at the TVET, trains people for specific job demand. So when we take home economics, when we take fashion designing, they are teaching you based on a specific market demand. So that is the fashion aspect. When you are done, you can we have fashion institute that are employing people who are sold into fashion. So you learn it, they employ you, you sew for the company, and then you are being paid. So it's not as if you are now done with school and then you are going to figure something out. You already have the hand-on skill which someone is now going to pay a madam or someone to teach him or her, but you already have that skills on. And then another one has to do with it boosts economic productivity and growth. Skilled technicians and trade people keep industry running. Manufacturing, construction, energy all depend on a steady pipeline of trained workers. So if the government does not fund it, businesses either import labor or underperform. So when we have Ghana made shoes, we have Ghana made dresses, we have Ghana made necklace. If these people are not sourced and they are not being helped out, we end up importing all these things into the country. Now when you go to I've forgotten the name. Oh, Accra. There is this part of Accra that when you go to, it is only Ghana made. You see Ghana made necklace,
The
chains.
art center.
Art center. Thank you. When you go there, you see Ghana made dresses. Everything is about Ghana. And then when you go there, you see people from other countries coming in to patronize what we have. If we don't support this TVET as a whole, and we don't come in for them, at the end of the day, we'll end up importing all these things, because when we support them, we give them the hand or skill, and then after they are done, they get something to do, and then we resource them. It means that we will have it remain. How will I be put it? We have them in the country, so there is no way we should go out importing all these things, because we already have the people and they are working. What we have to do is that after they are done, these people get work to do, and then they are done with whatever they are supposed to produce. We help them by exporting it out of the country. But when we don't resource them, that is when the challenges come in. Manufacturing of these things reduces, because you don't even have the human labor to help you out. And even if you have the human labor, you don't even have enough money to keep it going. And then what we do is that we bring in people from other countries, they do the work for us, and then we pay them. But we can equally do same to our people. Then it reduces poverty and inequality. This is not something where Rebecca say if you're a female you can't go into manufacturing clothes. We have males that are fashion designers. I have male colleagues who are fashion designers. I have male colleagues who are makeup artists. We have males. This is not about gender. It's about you this is what you want to do. You've figure it out yourself that this is what you do. You went to school, you learned it, and then at the end of the day it becomes useful to you, and you becomes useful and an asset to the country and not a liability. So it also reduces pressure on universities. Not everyone needs a 4-year term to study in school.
Of course.
Everyone and how you were created. Growing up, I mean, there are certain things you notice and you're like, hey, I want to do this. And even before you figure it out, your parents can equally say, I've seen this qualities in you. Okay, so we have people who their own is not to go to classroom to sit for 4 years and be teaching, going and coming. No, their own is hand-on skills, and they are making big money out of that. So for me, with this fund, it will really help. But then my problem is when this fund is being initiated, it should be used for its right intended purpose. It shouldn't be that of which we've been hearing, where the fund is being initiated and then whoever is in charge of it end up diverting the money, because it's common. So the fund should be used for its intended purpose. For TVET, dear, I feel like it should be one of the topmost priority when it comes to hands-on skills.
Right, training and vocational skills. Miss Regina, can you share your thoughts on the issue?
Okay, so when it comes to TVET, I think it's a very good thing and it needs to be prioritized. So looking at some of the TVET courses, welding, carpentry, plumbing, hairdressing, So it's a kind of course that then times most people looked down on. But in our education sector now, it's being prioritized. Just recently, I saw videos of some students in a school institution, I think it's SHS, they were showcasing their talent when it comes to sewing. And one girl that really caught my attention, her outfit was an overall outfit, but she got like 5 outfits from that dress. And she did it right on stage, and I was like, oh, this thing is really gaining traction, because compared to the then times, people didn't really respect it. And you wouldn't be surprised if someone sees these kids outside and just decides to help them or give them a scholarship, because when it comes to this technical vocational education training, it's now key. It is very important. As she said, this is not a time where we need to be relying on universities. some people still have the mindset that office jobs are more important than this vocational skills or you having your own insamujuma. But mind you, these people are already self-employed. They are already their bosses, they are CEOs. And I love how most of these people brand themselves. Plumbing, welding, they put in so much work that at the end of the day, you would even, how would I put it? Okombedo say, I could have learned a skill, but which is never too late. So the TVET is very important. When the government focuses more on it, at the end of the day, it would help the economy stabilize also. And also the rate at which youth would be unemployed, it would lessen. Now the issue is, are these youth ready to indulge or involve themselves in the aspects of vocational training? Yeah.
Because sometimes you go to companies and then it's not about the theory that you have learned to school, but also your skills is actually what they're actually looking at. So I think the government's actually focusing on this is going to help a lot. Right, let's proceed. Health Minister assures full implementation of ACOSA committee recommendations on Charles Emise's death. The Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta Akanto, says government will fully implement all recommendations in the ACOSA committee report investigating the death of Charles Emisa. Charles Emisa died after a hit-and-run accident near the Kwame Nkrumah Circle overpass. According to reports, although he initially received help from the National Ambulance Service, he was allegedly turned away by several hospitals because there were no available beds. He later died while being transported, sparking public anger and concerns about emergency health care in Ghana. Speaking after receiving the report, the minister assured the public that government would not allow the findings to gather dust. He says all 15 recommendations made by the committee will be enforced to improve emergency healthcare delivery and prevent similar deaths in the future. The committee, chaired by Ajiman Bedu Akosa, was set up to investigate the circumstances surrounding the incidents. One of the major recommendations is the caution of a national electronic emergency bed management system. This system would help hospitals know where beds are available during emergencies, reducing delays in treatment. The report also recommended disciplinary action against health professionals found to have acted negligently. Regulatory bodies such as the Medical and Dental Council, the Nurses and Midwives Council, and hospital management authorities are expected to investigate and take the necessary action. The minister says some institutions have already started acting on parts of the recommendations, while government works to strengthen the emergency response system nationwide. And this particular case has renewed public debate about emergency healthcare access, hospital preparedness, and accountability within Ghana's health sector. Yeah, so I believe you have a preview of the report, investigative report of Charles Emise's death. And reading it says that it's due to negligence. That is why this young man actually died. And they've placed some recommendations on board and they'll be looking at them. They're looking forward to implement them to make sure that we have a better health system. Ms. Eugenia, first off, how do you feel about the whole report? Getting to find out that they could have actually saved this man's life, but I'm not sure.
So this is no news to me because from the start of this whole brouhaha, I knew for a fact that this nurses or doctors or that institution as a whole was just, how would I put it? Should I use the word evil? Because for you to neglect someone's health, it means you are evil. You were never brought up with love. there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is just feeling, say, oh, but empathy is you putting yourself in that condition of the person and feeling like, hey, so what if it was me? The pain that comes with it. But the nurses of these days, the health practitioners of these days are, excuse me to say, content creators. Yes, they are TikTokers.
I agree.
They don't have that empathy.
I fully agree.
That compassion, they don't have it. Because tell me why hit and run on an individual. Fine. The ambulance has done the aspects in which they are supposed to do, administer first aid. Now it's your turn to do it, and you come to tell us that there are no hospital beds. And per the investigation, negligence, they could have done something, but decided to neglect the needs of this individual. And the same happened at Kaswa, where a pregnant woman had to die to a point where they neglected her. And shockingly, that operation they didn't want to do, at long last, she was still operated on by a mortuary man who had to take out the baby. I personally don't understand what is going on in the health sector. I don't understand, because it looks like they derive pleasure in seeing people die. But then times, even if someone dies under your watch, it's a bad record.
Yeah.
It's still in existence.
And then
they don't care.
They don't care. I don't know if someone dies, it is adding to your salary. If someone dies, it is adding to your record. I don't understand. Because the pleasure these people derive in it, now, I'm shocked. It's so inhuman. I'm just imagining if I was in the shoes of these family members. I know that by now I would have gone bonkers, because that hospital, and I just want the security personnel be pajama free home, because I'll deal with everyone head to toe. I'll beat everyone.
I'll just buy eggs.
I will beat you and curse you on top
and put a cutlass in the casket.
Exactly.
Yes.
What's the cutlass? Why that movie?
Share.
Yeah,
it's real.
Share.
It works.
No one can tell me in time.
Hey.
Put cutlass in the caskets.
Really?
Share. Or the you would have to confess yourself.
Is ghost really there?
I'm not sure.
Ghost is not there, yo.
Because if ghosts were there, these nurses that are killing human beings.
Ghost doesn't exist. Oh,
I'm not sure they do.
Ghost exists.
Because if they do,
ghosts really exist. Sometimes
you've seen a ghost before.
Yes, the man died. The man came to the house to come and greet me. Meanwhile, the person was already dead.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And sometimes you'd have to trigger it before it comes.
Trigger the ghost.
The ghost. So it's just like you don't know how the circumstance of the death. So as she said, the cutlass, you have to do certain rituals. Then at the end of the day, you've triggered it to take action.
That is a spirit backing and using the facial look of
oh dear.
You have killed my brother.
Yeah.
He wants me to sit down.
But you can call a ghost.
Oh, really?
Especially the areas do it.
They do.
You can go over and call a ghost.
And ask what's the cause of it. The nurses didn't try.
They didn't. And they need to be sanctioned. Yes. It's not only sanctioned, they need to take their medical license away from them.
You know, their names were actually published. And then already they are threatening and harassing these people. Do you think it was the right thing?
It is the right thing. This is not the time where we need to be covering the tracks of these criminals. Sometimes I get shocked.
They're actually murderers.
Sometimes I get shocked that Ghana Police Service, you arrest a criminal. No makata nenim. Say nipa ye kun obi na wakata nenim. Enti sisi ano nipa ye escape na ye nam ho no kokun obi. Let the person's face come out publicly. Let's know that this person is a criminal. This person has done this.
They actually do that to protect the individual.
Maybe the evidence they have is
this is not an issue of protecting individual. We don't protect criminals. We don't protect murderers. You would only feel the impact when a close member of yours is dead. That is where you see. And then I thought that I don't care. Because someone has stolen from me before, and I wish I caught that person.
Ms. Debbie.
You see, this whole issue is very, very sad, and we are not really paying attention to it. I feel like we are not even solving this issue of the no bed syndrome. We will only talk about it and then it ends there. No one takes action. But things are really going on. You have no idea the number of people die each day because of this the recklessness of these nurses. You see, we always say this: if you don't have the passion to be a nurse, please don't go. Let no one force you. Not even your parents. You know yourself. Sitting here, unless you pretend to, like, you are pretending to yourself that you don't know who you are. You know who you are more than the person who even gave birth to you. You know what you do that even your parents are not aware. You know yourself better. So you don't let somebody impose a profession on you. If you know you can't do it, it is not by force, my sister. There are other professions that you can fit and fit well. You can work for people to applaud you. You don't go into a profession because there is no nurse in the family. I had a colleague who was telling me that her mom wanted her to be a nurse because nurse be a new busianimu.
Why she?
That was like,
where say?
And she said she told her mom that she won't do it.
Of course.
She does it, and she's not offering the course. She feels like she's into this people are into creating webs and all that. That is what she wants to do. Her mom said go and be a nurse because when she goes to the hospital, the way these young nurses treat and all that. I also want my daughter to be a nurse so that I'll show you. And she's told her mom that you are coming to use me to bid for those reckless nurses that do not know what they are doing. You see, so sometimes this parent force people. But what we are saying is that a lot of people are losing their lives. It's because we don't get to see it. They do it and then they cover it up. But this one, once in a while, now Omutua Dedi. And when that happens, we need to take them on. The Ghana Medical Association has released a report and they are like, the way they've mentioned their name is not bad. It feels like now we are paying more attention to the people who do it than the road cause. We are paying attention to everything, both the nurses who cause that havoc, and then the issue of resourcing our hospitals. We are paying attention to all this too. Because as it stands now, the government has a role to play. You, the nurse, also, you have a role to play. You can do it. Those nurses that when you go to the hospital and then even there are no bed, the way they talk to you, sometimes a nurse will be, when you go to the OPD, you know they have places where they sit. Yeah. When they see that the place is crowded, but your situation is very dire, the nurse will stand up and tell you that, oh, come and sit down. Nurse now, yes, I know you nipa. That she has two heads. She is the same human being as you are, but you won't do it. So we are pleading these nurses, they should be taken on. They should use them as an scapegoat. And lots of people are dying. You have no idea. They kill them and then they cover it up. And then they'll come out and they'll tell you that we are sorry. I don't know, we are sorry. We tried to save her. We tried to save him, but I mean, Emma, the day we hear that thing from one nurse, I will end up slapping you. Who told you that? So these are things that are preventable. We can bring an end to it. We should make sure that things like this do not happen. It is only a fool, excuse me, that you pass through something for the first time and then you allow it happen to you like consistently. When you pass through it the first time, you learn your mistake and then you improve. But when you don't improve, it's like you are a fool because you can't even identify your mistakes to improve on it. And that is what we don't want to see. Since this is happening, the government should take a step. We should bring an end to it. And these nurses should be held accountable.
Thank you, Ms. Debbie. Ghana becomes Africa's 8th largest economy as GDP hits $118 billion. Ghana has officially become the 8th largest economy in Africa after its economy grew significantly in 2026. According to the latest reports by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Ghana's economy is now valued at about $118 billion, up from $108 billion in 2025. This means Ghana's economy has expanded, and the country is now ranked among the top economies on the continent. What actually drove the growth. The strong growth was mainly supported by gold mining, ICT and digital technology, and financial services. Ghana's gold sector performed strongly because global gold prices remain high, bringing in more export revenue and foreign exchange. The ICT sector also continued to grow as more businesses and services become digital, while financial services expanded through technology-driven banking and mobile finances. The new ranking shows that Ghana's economy is becoming more diversified, meaning growth is no longer coming from only one sector. Experts says the improvement also signals recovery after years of economic difficulties, including high inflation, cedi depreciation, and debt restructuring challenges. The growth could also improve investor confidence and strengthen Ghana's position within West Africa and the African continent. Despite the positive growth, economics warn that Ghana still faces important challenges, including public debt pressures, fiscal constraints, dependency on global commodity prices, and external financing risks. This means governments will still need strong economic management to maintain stability and sustain growth. Africa's top economies, according to the IMF report, South Africa remains Africa's largest economy. Egypt is second and Nigeria is third. Ghana now ranks 8th on the continent. Is that a good news for us? Our GDP is growing. Miss Debbie, our GDP is growing. And we are the 8th.
Yeah, so I was quite happy when I saw that yesterday, but I went to check the ranking and I realized that yes, sir. I think we were ranked among 118. Is it 118?
118 billion US dollars. Billion.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about the rankings. I think we are ranked with nine countries, African countries, and then we are also 8. I think South Africa is first, then Algeria, Nigeria, then it follows like that, and then Ghana comes 8. Well, in a way, I feel like we are improving in as much as we are not really seeing the impacts, the positive impact. We are not seeing it that much in physical living, like you going to buy something and all that, but at least we've experienced some sort of relief, and I think that is a good step. It wouldn't happen in a day, it will take more time, but then I feel like if we are able to clock the 9th position, then it means that when we put in much effort, there is no way we can't be at the top. Now when you take South Africa for instance, in as much as they have high record of serial killing and all that, I think the big businesses in Africa are situated in South Africa. MultiChoice TV, their headquarters is in South Africa. I think last year they said they were facing some challenges and then they sold it out to France. Yes, they sold it out for France, and there were even calls that African countries could have even come together, because we don't have, when you take the Western world for instance, they have a sole base station that is for like the whole entire US. When you take Africa, we don't have a station that we can say that all Africans fall on. Like let's say BBC, we do not have one station, big station that we can say that maybe Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, Algeria, Gambia, all these African countries follow. They teach and they broadcast on Africa. We don't. So there were calls that we could have maintained it. There could have been contributions for us to sustain, but you know that our thinking is something else. So they sold it out to France. So now MultiChoice is being owned by France. I stand to be corrected though. So I think we can, when we put in much effort, there will be an improvement. Yes, they say it's better than an accident.
It's better than none.
It's better than none. And there is Bakubiso.
Half a lot of bread is better than none.
Is it late or never?
Better late than never.
Thank you. Better late than never. My God. So for me, I believe with
With
time, and then when we keep on with this pace, there will be an improvement, and that will help. With this, for me, it's quite good, although not good enough, but it's good. At least eighth position is somehow better. Yeah,
Miss Regina.
And don't forget, it took us a lot for us to get to that eighth position.
Of course. Yeah. Are you impressed, Miss Regina?
Okay, so I would say it's a positive sign, because looking at the difficulties we face with the economy, and we've moved to eighth position. We've moved to eighth position globally. I think is a good thing, and also we should know that automatically the fact that the GDP rate is good doesn't mean that automatically some of the issues we are facing is still not there. So it says here that unemployment stays high, prices remain expensive, salaries do not increase, or public debt remains a burden. So in as much as we are jubilating that, oh, finally our economy is stable, our economy has been recognized globally, it doesn't mean that all these issues are still not in existence. So I feel like we should put in more effective measures to handle the situation, so that we would also move from eighth to first.
You think it's possible?
Oh,
yes.
It's possible.
I like the response. And I should tell you that you have trust in Ghana, and you think that with time we can actually reach there. All right, thank you so much, ladies, and thank you too for joining us on the news review. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Today I'm serving you with global observances. So first on the list, Child Care Provider Day. So happy Provider Appreciation Day to all the amazing child care providers. Today we celebrate the patience, love, and dedication you show every single day in shaping young minds and caring for children with compassion. Your impact goes beyond classrooms and homes. You help build the future one child at a time. Free Trade Day. Happy World Fair Trade Day. Today reminds us of the importance of fair wages, ethical business practices, and supporting producers and workers around the world. Every fair trade choice helps create opportunities, protect livelihoods, and promote a more sustainable future for all. Let's continue to support fairness, equality, and responsible trade in our communities and beyond. Moving on, World Red Cross Day. Today we honor the courage, compassion, and dedication of volunteers and humanitarian workers who tirelessly support people affected by disasters, conflict, and emergencies around the world. Thank you to every helper bringing hope, care, and humanity to those in need. Your service continues to make a difference in countless lives. Lastly, World Ovarian Cancer Day, a global initiative dedicated to raising awareness, promoting education, and advocating for improved early detection and treatment for ovarian cancer. The 2026 campaign focuses on equity and breaking the silence surrounding symptoms to ensure timely diagnosis and quality care for all women. And that's all for today on some global observances. And also Sunday is Mother's Day. Yeah. So happy Mother's Day.
Sunday is Mother's Day.
It's also Mother's.
Mother's Day in advance, right?
Yes, in advance.
Sunday is actually Mother's Day.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are really grateful.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Mother.
Are you not there? Yeah, mother. Every woman
So
is a
you
mother.
become a mother one day.
Look,
So
if you look at the
automatically
number
you're a
of
mother.
men we take care of here. Yeah, mother.
I take care of this man.
Yes, so yes, my baby. Yes, yes, some say, oh, did it moja to yes, some say, oh, I bet
Go,
Gaga.
go.
Yes, some say, oh, did it moja to oh, yes, some Christo. The most important person is yesum ye kununum yesum ye manum yesum masafono yesum obiara emani merima yesum Christo. Hallelujah. Happy Mother's Day.
Amen. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers in advance, because we wouldn't be here on Sunday. So we are wishing all mothers Happy Mother's Day. You've heard from Miss Debbie. She sang for all of you. So take that from here. Thank you so much. Up next, we have Debbie's Grow.
Okay. Welcome to Debbie's Grow, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear or favor. So we are continuing from where we stopped yesterday. The Chair of Parliament Health Committee, Markat, has called on medical professionals who are unwilling or unable to cope with the demands of the job to resign, following the presentation of findings by the committee investigating the death of Charles Emisa. Mr. Awani made the remarks after the 3-member investigative committee chaired by Professor Jemimbedu Akosa presented its report to the health committee. The report recommended disciplinary action against several health workers for alleged breaches of professional duty in the handling of Mr. Emisa, who died after a medical emergency. The Health Committee chair commended the investigative team for what he described as a more transparent approach, including the identification of individuals involved in the case. He contrasted the current findings with facilities rather than individual accountability, describing the shift as an important development in addressing medical negligence cases. Immediately we started and mentioned medical negligence and even started coming up with names. I said, thank God, this is a step forward, he noted. According to him, medical practitioners are expected to follow proper referral and consultation procedures when faced with difficult cases, including seeking support from senior colleagues when necessary. So I'm continuing from where I stopped yesterday. They are calling for the resignation of our nurses. If you feel like you are tired, you cannot do the work, please just resign. It will be better for you to resign than to harbor whatever it is and then ends up killing people. Now this is all based on the death of Emisa, who died by a hit-and-run vehicle. I spoke about this yesterday. And so there's been a committee that have been set up, and then the findings of the committee show that this man could have been saved. I mean, he could have lived again, but because of the recklessness of some nurses, I mean, we've ended up losing him, and here we are. And now they are saying that the Parliament Health Committee is saying, if you are tired, if you are a nurse and you are listening to me and then you are tired of working, you feel no interest in whatever you are doing, you have no passion for what you are doing, you can equally resign and then allow to save life. Let me put it that way, resign to save life. This is because the number of people who die each day, we might not have the record, and sometimes when you go to these hospitals, they wouldn't give you the record. I remember when I was in school, there was it was about breast cancer, and then we went out to report and all that. So we heard about some who it should be. I wouldn't mention the name of the hospital, but then we went there to report and then take data and all that. They said they are not going to talk to us. Also, I'm very serious. They said they are not going to give us the data. They are not, and they're saying a lot of things, blah 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 blah, which to me does not really make sense, because you said this is what you are going to do to the people. So first they said the people who are coming in with breast cancer, they are not going to be paid. They are not going to pay any sum of money, but they'll be given free treatment, free medication. But we heard other staff that when patients go in there, they are being asked to pay a sum of money. which is not what they promised. So we went there to investigate, and they refused. They said they are not going to talk to us, they are not going to give us the data and all that. So you see, we might not get the info of the number of people who died in a day with regards to the recklessness of some of these nurses. But once in a while, there are some people that cannot die just like that. They will have to reveal you out before they go. It's either they go with you or they reveal your dirty secret. And so that is what we are seeing. But you see, we've turned a blind eye to resourcing this hospital for far too long. And I think this is about time the government must take action. Our hospitals, they are struggling. I mean, we shouldn't be complaining. How old is Ghana? And why should we be complaining about hospitals not having beds? Just like the way you have para in your house. If you don't have any medicine at all, at least for para and ORS, you have it. You have G, you have vitamin C. Those are basic medications that even if you don't have any medicine at all, you have para. And so that is how it's supposed to be. Our hospitals should be resourced. They should be resourced. You see, the more reason why politicians come, they go, and they don't really pay attention to the healthcare system is because they don't even use your health, the hospitals we have. They don't use it. Even if it is a slight migraine, they travel out of the country. And my pain is, you travel out of the country often. You see how things are being put in place. What pushes you to travel outside the country is what we are calling you to do in your own country. If the right thing is being done, if they know that things are being done the right way, you wouldn't go outside the country to seek for medical attention. And just as I said yesterday, that when you go out for employment, or you go out to seek for employment, you need to know someone in that office. If you don't know anybody there, be rest assured that you are either going with God or you are going with your own tactics. If you know someone there, it becomes so easy for you. If you don't know anyone there, it becomes difficult. And we've inculcated that in our health system. If you go to hospital and then you know no nurse, you don't have any relative who is a doctor, who is a nurse in that particular hospital, forget it. No one is going to cater for you. They'll just be looking at you. And then there was this video I saw. A member of parliament said he was very, very sick. Very, 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 very sick. At the point of death. And then he was being rushed to one of the top hospitals in Ghana here. And the nurse were not giving attention. So his wife said, he's a member of parliament, oh. Beep. Then they sent him, they have the special ward for staff, and then they also have special ward for people, dignitaries and all that. Immediately the wife said he's a member of parliament. Oh, they started rushing. They came for his vitals and everything. And then they treated him. So the question is, what if he's not a member of parliament? What if he doesn't hold a position in the country? It means he would have been catered for anyhow. And that is what the ordinary Ghanaian go through every day. That is what they go through every day. And so this whole issue, everyone is to be blamed. The government needs to take part of the blame, and the health practitioners also needs to take part of the blame. Because if the government is not doing the needful, it makes the work difficult for these nurses. If you don't provide what I'm supposed to use to work, how do you expect me to work and work well? You are refusing to take responsibility, and then you expect me to deliver. It doesn't work like that. You need to do your part, then I also do my part. Now your part is resourcing these hospitals with the needed equipment to help them flow in whatever they do. You don't do it. And all the time we speak about You see, when I heard this committee coming out with the final results, in a way I was happy, but at some point I was sad. I was sad because I know the probability of this result not getting anywhere is 99.9%. And anytime issues like this pop out, you just take a look. There was an incident where a woman was being thrown out of the hospital. She was being made to sleep in a bush because they said there was no bed to treat this woman. She was left stranded. And then this woman died. What did they do to those nurses? Nothing. And so when issues like this pop up, we are in a hurry to set up a committee. The committee is being set up. The results are out, and then we do nothing. We will come or speak big English, and then it ends there. We don't take action. We don't hold those people responsible. Everyone has a say in it. The GMA will say their part. The government will say his part. The health minister will say, Naka. We don't take action. We don't prevent such occurrences from happening in the future. And that is why we see this happening every year, every day. Imagine we are doing the right thing. Nurses who are forgotten their rights or who they are and what they are supposed to do. If they are being punished or penalized for their acts, it will serve as a deterrent to others. And if the government also does its part by resourcing this hospital with the needed equipment, there will be a flow of work. But we don't do it. The results are out. We are happy. I'm just giving you 1 month. 1 month in Ukraine also. And also, no. If this thing will get somewhere, it's either they silence it, and it wouldn't end anyway. No one will talk about it, and then it ends there. And then people keeps dying. You see, there is this friend doctor of mine. One day we were talking, and then he said something. He said the number of people who die in a day is not as if they cannot save their lives, but it's because what they need to work, they don't have it. So he said there was an instance where a patient was being rushed into the hospital. I won't mention the name of the hospital. Was being rushed in the hospital, and then there is this medicine that they were supposed to inject or give to this patient before they will go ahead with treatment and everything. And then that particular medicine, they don't have it in the hospital. And he told me that medicine is a type of medicine that should never run short in hospitals. It is a medicine that the hospital needs to have 24/7, because when they are dealing with critical issue, they will need to administer that medication first. But guess what? The patient was being brought in, medicine in the hall, so they just have to look on for the patient to die. And I was like, really? He said yes. There is nothing they can do. So the only thing they'll do is that they'll come out and then tell the family that we are sorry. We tried to save him, but we are unable to save him. But this is something that could have been prevented. That patient's life could have been saved. So please, this whole issue, the government is part, the nurses are also part. When these two parties identify their role and then execute it, it is going to help us. Because when we blame the nurses and then we leave the government out, we are not being fair. When we blame the government and we leave the nurses out, we are not being fair. So we are blaming all of them because they have a role to play. And they need to do it. It will be sad if we will sit here again and then talk about another incident where a patient is being sent to the hospital and there is no bed and so the person died. Then we will need to bow our head in shame. Ghana is old enough to be talking about issues like this. It's a shame and an embarrassment to us as a country. We need to work towards that. There shouldn't be an instance where you go to the hospital and then they'll tell you, say, "Empa new intimiwu, empa new so the person should die." No, this is something that can be prevented. We can do it. I don't know what is preventing us. The population is growing every day, and so that is how we need to resource these hospitals as well. You don't expect a hospital to treat a whole population, millions of population with only 1,000 beds. It doesn't work like that, most especially in the public hospitals. The right thing should be done. For us, we are here anytime, any day. When you don't do the right thing, Rebecca, when you do the right thing, we'll still say it. Because that is our work. We are watchdogs. Thank you for making time with me on the screen.
Thank you so much for making time with us on the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the news shortly, and right after the news, we'll be back. This second segment, make sure you don't miss it.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi keshito.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the Ghana Talks Radio Morning News Bulletin. We start with a pressing education crisis in Ghana's cocoa communities, where some schools are operating with only a third of the teachers they require. In housing, the acting Rent Control Commissioner has summoned hostel managers to answer for unauthorized fee hikes. In the legal sphere, High Court has adjourned the case management conference for Chairman Wuntumi to May 14th over alleged galamsey activities tied to Akunta mining and the Serimboa concession. On the political front, the National Democratic Congress has revived its Setting the Record Straight series to challenge political misinformation with a focus on disputed claims about Bank of Ghana losses. This and many other stories coming up shortly. Cocoa communities face dire teacher shortfalls as some schools operate with only 1/3 of needed educators. Acting Rent Control Commissioner summons hostel managers over unauthorized fee hikes.
Advocacy point for this forum is one, to help post teachers to most of our 50 schools that have high teacher attrition. There is great teacher deficit. A school where there are supposed to be 9 teachers, the head teacher plus 8 other teachers have as low as 2 teachers, and it's very appalling. It's affecting the delivery of teaching, quality teaching and learning. And so we are advocating that the stakeholders who are here today will help post more teachers to these schools. We all know that if teachers are engaged in multi-grading, one teacher is handling class 1, class 2, class 3, for example, it affects the quality of teaching because the curriculum for each of the classes are different, and the ability, even in one class there are different abilities. Okay, so now putting more than one class together, a teacher himself will be too stressed, overloaded and confused, and so we don't expect anything good from there. The second point is allocating of adequate resources to our social workers, especially the Department of Social Welfare. For instance, Adansi South is one of our districts. There are 400 communities. Esunafo North is one of our districts, 425 communities. They have 9 staff and 5 staff in this district working. 1 motorbike for Esunafo North, 3 motorbikes for Adansi South, to 400 communities where we expect them to follow up on cases that come up from each of these communities. So we can see the deficit here as well. So we are lobbying to the national stakeholders that budgetary allocation should be made for adequate resources for these social workers to be able to follow up on cases and ensure that cases get proper closure.
This was after Right to Play Ghana raised concerns over severe shortage of teachers in cocoa growing communities. According to the organization, some schools are managing with only 3 teachers compared to the mandated 9, resulting in students having restricted access to steady teaching and academic assistance. Right to Play Ghana urges immediate government action to recruit and retain teachers in these rural communities. In other news, Acting Commissioner of the Rent Control Department, Frederick Opoku, has convened an emergency meeting with hostel managers following reports of unlawful increases in hostel fees. Addressing the issue, Mr. Opoku said everyone remains subject to the country's laws during his term. He emphasized that the department will not tolerate arbitrary charges that burden students, cautioning that strict actions will be taken against operators found to be in violation of rent regulations. The meeting is aimed at reinforcing compliance and restoring order in the accommodation sector.
You can see these quotations is outrageously priced. On this particular one, on the land of Legon, managed by Senate, I will crave the indulgence of the Minister responsible for education that this kind of exploitation must not continue. And Minister Helen Adusu should step out immediately without delays. And you see, the students are complaining. NUS represent the student body of this country. And we must not pretend we have not heard. We have not pretend we are not aware. Today, I moved myself with the Rent Control Department and the media houses. And this is what I have in my hands. And I really want to be captured so that I will not be misquoted. And what is alarming is that what they have pasted on their notice board is different from what I'm holding now. And this is serious. So let us take note of it. To talk about any elite here, because all people who think that they are big people in society. What a rich man cannot do, what a poor man cannot do, those people target themselves, power of the states can also do. Under my watch as a commissioner of rent, nobody is bigger than the laws of the Republic of Ghana. And as I continue to update the president of the Republic, who believe the law must work, trust me, I wouldn't want to. I don't know anybody or who built the hostels, but I know they have managers. So we have invited them. I know they are private hostels, but when we get there, we will cross it. But I know nobody is above the law. So if you sit home and say you are a big man and that you have been building hostels and are exploiting and stealing, I see this exploitation and as exploitation and stealing and theft. Indirectly stealing from the poor cannot be countenanced with. I believe that they will change and refrain for the better. That I believe.
The Criminal Division of the High Court has adjourned the case management conference for Bernard Entry, known as Chairman Wontumi, to May 14, 2026. The case relates to alleged illegal mining activities tied to Akonta mining and the Serimboa concession. According to the prosecution, mining operations were conducted on the Samreboa concession without approval from the sector minister, which they said breaches Ghana's mining regulations. The adjournment allows both parties more time to prepare ahead of the next hearing.
Case management. We have finished it, except that we had 2 more witnesses to file their witness statements, which we have told the court. So we have filed a witness statement for Chairman Wontumi and Akonta mining. We have filed one for Engineer Machi. We have filed another. We have a few more to do and probably add to it or improve our case. So when we file the others, we will also notify you the system. So far, we have 3 witness statements ready to be filed, and we intend to file them by tomorrow or Monday when witnesses come to sign the witness statements. So the matter has been returned to 40 to operate continuations of this matter. Only to give you the other basis that
the governing National Democratic Congress has relaunched its Setting the Record Straight series as part of effort to address what it describes as political misinformation in public discourse. At the relaunch event, Deputy Communications Officer Godwin Akko took aim at the opposition New Patriotic Party over statements regarding purported losses at the Bank of Ghana. He argued that the claims distort the fact and undermine informed public debate. The NDC says the revised series will serve as a platform to present factual counterpoint and clarify contested policy issues.
Asidun Ketia and our General Secretary, Honorable Fifi Fiabi Kwete, and all executives. I extend our appreciation to our regional, constituency, and branch executives for keeping the party cohesive through what has been a demanding period. As we undertake our reorganization, let us do so with discipline and unity, ensuring the process strengthens rather than distracts from our mission. From today, setting the record straight becomes a continuous, strategic, and uncompromising platform to kill jandam and misinformation from the NPP. We will speak, we will correct, we will defend the truth every single day. Thank you very much, confidence, and implement people-centered policies. But governance alone is not enough. Communication is governance. We call it serious. However, political misinformation requires a political response. Firm, direct, and unapologetic. That is why setting the record straight is back. Let this serve as both a notice and a warning. The NDC is not afraid of criticisms. In fact, we welcome constructive scrutiny, but we will not tolerate deliberate falsehoods, character assassination, and coordinated propaganda. Every lie will be confronted with facts. Every distortion